You're listening to an Anazao Ministries podcast. Do you have any holidays that you geek out on? Some people I know are obsessed with Christmas or Halloween. They discuss it year round. They get really hyped, dress up for it. Well, I do that with Thanksgiving. I am all in, all hype for Thanksgiving. And that being said, guys, I am extremely excited that I get the privilege and honor to tell Joe and to tell all of you listening the greatest phrase anyone could possibly utter: Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I'm overwhelmed. The day is finally here. This is Systematic Geekology. We are the Priesthood of Geeks. I am Joshua Knoll, your personal Thanksgiving concierge. I don't know. What do you call someone when you're obsessed with a holiday?
Enthusiast?
Enthusiast. There we go. Your personal Thanksgiving enthusiast. Please go to our website and message me if you want to know random things about Thanksgiving. I'm going to try my best not to give you unnecessary facts today. I'm joined by Joe Day. Joe, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, man. I'm glad to be here with you. It's one of those. This is one of those episodes. I'm excited to just by osmosis experience the stupid amount of joy that you get about this holiday, man.
I literally year round. This is my thing, guys. We're jumping into the episode now. If you wanted to know. The beginning of the year, we've had one of those like couple devotionals where each day you have to like write something. And the first one was like, what are you looking forward to most this year? I was like, Thanksgiving. And then day two, you have to both write the answer to that one. It's like, what are you most thankful for from last year? Thanksgiving. My answer for the first 7 days was Thanksgiving. My wife was like, you can't say Thanksgiving every day. I was like, oh yeah, I bet. I bet I could. Oh man. I love this day. I love the food. I love everything it stands for. There's nothing about Thanksgiving that I don't adore, other than this is my hot, wrong opinion of the episode. I don't love stuffing. It's not for me.
So being in the industry, I can tell you that not all stuffing is created equal. That's don't true. Like that stuff that you like, the stuff that comes from inside the bird. I'm not here for that mushy nonsense. Like that stuff is wallpaper paste. That's not actual food. Yeah.
I guess I should clarify. There are rare exceptions where it's done well and I like it. If it's done in the pan, if you do it in the bird, your stuffing ends up mushy, your bird ends up dry. Don't do that. That's stupid. Am I allowed to say that's stupid? Is that a thing I could say? Is that a bad word? But if you do it in the pan and you don't include onions, just because I don't like onions, then yeah, I'm here for it.
Josh, you're a monster. First off, who doesn't like onions?
I like onion. I like onion powder. It's not the flavor. It's just biting into an onion for me is so unpleasant.
Some people are just wrong.
You want to hear my more wrong?
Go for it.
I don't like vinegar. So like any sauce that's like vinegar, I just don't touch it.
I mean,
I want nothing to do with it.
I'm not so opposed that I won't have something that has vinegar in it. Like there are certain barbecue sauces and stuff like that that are vinegar based that are fine. Like people that put like salt and vinegar chips, or they'll put vinegar on French fries or something like that. Like if you do that, you're a monster. I just want you to understand you're in the same league as Josh here, not liking onions.
Yeah, there were so many things I grew up thinking I didn't like mustard or whatever.
No.
Carolina barbecue sauce, imagine not liking vinegar. Growing up in Tennessee where they have real barbecue, the tomato-based stuff, and then ending up in the Carolinas, where not only is it vinegar-based, they don't even cook the food in it. They just kind of have, here's a thing you can squirt on. That's not barbecue. Carolina barbecue is not barbecue. I said it. I will be crucified probably tomorrow, sometime during Black Friday.
You can send all complaints to Josh at thebadopinions.com.
Anyway, guys, first off, I want to say we're extremely thankful for our listeners, for you guys who are part of the Facebook group, for our other host who might be listening to this. We are thankful for all of you. And today I'm gonna go through three things for this holiday. I'm gonna help you build your Thanksgiving playlist. Everyone has a Halloween or Christmas playlist. That stuff's, I would say, for the birds, but that's the best holiday. Thanksgiving is for the birds. I I'm going to give you some key Thanksgiving songs we're going to talk about. We're talking about some of the shows and movies, and of course, we're going to discuss the reason for the season. But before we do all of that, Joe, how do you feel about Thanksgiving?
So for me, a lot about holidays and pretty much October on has been recontextualized over the last several years. Being in the restaurant business, coupled with not really having a family life, didn't really make for a lot of opportunity to enjoy the holiday. You know what I mean? And I just kind of, every once in a while I would do like a Friendsgiving, something like that. Like I would cook my friends Thanksgiving dinner and stuff like that. There was a stretch during college that a couple of us got together and like on Thanksgiving and Christmas, we would open the door for strays. Anybody who didn't have a place to go, they could come, that sort of thing. But at this point, like this is now at a point where I can look objectively on a day like today and say, man, like it is cheesy. It is corny. It is all of the things when you talk about like the reason for the season and all of that kind of stuff. But when you realize the power of gratitude, it really is a very, very impactful thing. And it has helped to be able to contextualize what I think about all of these things inside the housing of my walk with Christ.
Yeah, for sure. Ironically, one of the complaints that a lot of atheists have about Christians that I actually agree with has a lot to do with why I like Thanksgiving, actually. And it is, I'm trying to build this up well. The complaint basically there's a lot of Christians who say, oh, well, not all Christians are like that. Those aren't real Christians. Real Christians believe the Bible. Real Christians love one another. Real Christians, whatever the phrase is here. And the complaint goes, okay, if all of these people are calling themselves Christians and doing this thing, that's what Christian is. It might not be what you want it to be. That's what it is. It might not be what it originally was. That's what it is. And I kind of have to agree. I have to accept the fact that when I say I'm a Christian, that comes with this baggage of all these people who are doing it very unwell. And I don't get to say they don't count, and I do. I have to say, okay, well, here's how I contextualize what they're doing with what I believe and make sense of it. I don't get to just dismiss it. And I do the same thing with the holidays, right? Halloween, whatever we may say it's about, realistically, it's about candy and parties and spooky things. That's fun, but it has a lot to do with capitalism now.
Yeah.
Christmas is primarily capitalism, a little bit of Santa Claus. Someone might mention baby Jesus, and someone will most definitely argue about where Jesus was born and all of that. It's either Christmas tends to either be a lot of religious pomp and circumstance for me, this is just for me. It either comes off as a lot of pomp and circumstance, religious stuff, or it comes off as yay, party, Santa Claus, happy, give me presents. Whereas Thanksgiving, because it's in between those two and because it just end up being kind of not prioritized the same way, it's maintained a lot of its actual self. Like Thanksgiving now isn't really about this terrible pilgrim story, which I will say it was terrible, but it's gone through a lot of deconstruction and people kind of left that behind. And now Thanksgiving typically is about food and family and friends and being thankful. Like it's actually managed to stay about the things it's about. And that's what I love. That's something that's, to me, what's beautiful about Thanksgiving is that it seems to me to be the purest of the holidays, the one that's truly about being thankful. It's not about capitalism. And that's something that I enjoy.
And that's part of the thing and I think some people would argue Christmas for this, but at worst kept secret in Christianity, guys, that Jesus wasn't born on December 25th. I know it's crazy, but worst kept secret in Christianity. But it is the day that we choose to celebrate the birth of the Savior and all of those kinds of things. So you would think inherently that that's like the purest, right? Because it has to do with Jesus, yada yada yada. But I think from a societal standpoint, I think part of what helps the cause of it being Thanksgiving, because I would agree that Thanksgiving is the purest if it's done well. And I'll qualify that statement here, and I think that this is probably where the roads are gonna diverge for Josh and I. This is largely untreaded ground from a consumerist standpoint. There are a handful of stores that will really ratchet it up because they do seasonal supply and all of those kinds of things. Variety stores, different things like that. There is some capitalism around Thanksgiving, especially when you consider buying the food and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but there's this reality to it being about gratitude, and its core essence is made up of this beautiful ingredient of gratitude and all of that, and being able to really allow for that to be a centerpiece is this thing that has helped to preserve its beauty. Now, for me, in my house, we are not in a situation where like Thanksgiving dinner in its proper context is an option. And we personally aren't the biggest fans of turkey. I think turkey is incredibly overrated. It's fine, but it's not. There's so much better out there. But that being said, go ahead. I know you're chomping at the bit.
I was going to do our fact checkers looked into that and have determined that statement was false. Well, and in fact, actually is the best food.
There you go. But when you separate yourself away from the food aspect of it, what you're left with, like with Christmas, from a consumeristic standpoint, you're left with still, even if you take like family meal out of it, there's still so much capitalism still baked into it. But with Thanksgiving, it's this thing that if you take that food component out of it, what are you left with? You're left with the sense of gratitude, with like this idea of I am like, should we make one day about gratitude? Absolutely not. But if we are actually living out of a place of gratitude on Thanksgiving, then that still allows for it to be this beautiful thing.
Yeah, I have a lot to say to that. But first I want to say, I think a lot of it, like I do Sunday church services, it can be done poorly and it can be done well. If Sunday service serves as your only time you're thinking about Jesus, it's being done poorly, right? But if it serves as a reminder of what's the most important thing and you carry it with you the rest of the week and you continue to live Christian lifestyles in community the rest of the week, then it's a beautiful thing. Right. And same thing with Thanksgiving. It could be the one time of the whole year that you're thankful. That's awful. But if it's reminding you how important it is to be thankful, and that's what it does for me. Each year, I think, how can I be more grateful towards people? I've started in the last couple of years making sure every email I word differently, but I always say I appreciated your time. And I try not to say it the same way every time because I don't want someone to think, oh, that's just something he says. I want them to know, no, I genuinely appreciate the fact that you took the time to respond to me. The fact that I know that your time means something and I appreciate that you were willing to spend it on me, Right. And I always try to think of something else that I can be more thankful throughout the year, not just this one day when I'm going to say I'm thankful for. I think it's important to use it as a reminder, not as a one day thing that you say. Also, as far as the food goes, I love turkey. I actually geek out about turkey. I spend a huge portion of my year. Honestly, this is the saddest part is I spend a lot of my year looking up different farms and stuff of I'm going to get an actual fresh turkey. And then inevitably November comes around and I realize I don't have that kind of money. And I go to Walmart. You can splat your turkey, you can roast your turkey, you can smoke your turkey, you can fry your turkey. I end up making several turkeys a year because I just can't make up my mind what kind of rub I'm going to use, what kind of brine I'm going to use, how I'm going to baste it. I love turkey. There's so much you can do. And there's also this thing with Christmas for me. This is actually a personal thing. I feel too much expectation in Christmas to enjoy it as much. I love Christmas. Don't get me wrong. But I know that every Christmas, if I don't show up in at least 5 different states, then I'm disappointing someone terribly, and it's a huge to-do. That's a lot of traveling. That's a lot of money that I'm obligated to spend. And I want to spend it. I want to go to these places, but it's still like It's heavy, you know? And when you meet with people, it's not, we're going to eat and then talk about what we're thankful for and sit around, watch football and enjoy each other's presents. That's Thanksgiving. Christmas is, we're going to eat as quick as we can and get to the presents.
Yep.
I hate that. Like, I like the presents. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate presents. I like giving stuff to people. But the fact that that's the entire reason we got together, like, I would rather watch football and just talk about what's going on in your life and how much I miss spending time with each other and being thankful that we do get to meet and eat turkey. Fun fact, my favorite restaurant of all time is Liberty Tree Tavern in Magic Kingdom, Disney World, naturally. And it's because it's an all-you-can-eat Thanksgiving style kind of meal. And I just get tons of turkey and potato. One year for my birthday, my wife let me go there twice in 1 week, and it was phenomenal. Huh. Okay, that being said, do you have any holiday traditions for Thanksgiving that you'd like to share with everybody?
The focus for us on Thanksgiving is very centered on gratitude and allowing it to serve as a reminder for what we are grateful for, because the realities of life are what they are. And it's very easy to get caught up in all of that and lose sight of what it is that you are thankful for.
That's true. I kind of too. I like Friendsgiving just as much as Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I know that's probably controversial if you're my family, but it's true. And Friendsgiving, and this is the ironic thing. I know I mentioned a lot of expectations with Christmas, and you could say the same thing about Thanksgiving because you're expected to do all this cooking. But if cooking is how you relieve stress, the thing that's stressing you out is also what's relieving the stress. It's the perfect holiday for people like me, who that's what I do when I get stressed out. I just cook things. I literally made 2 derby pies today because I was feeling a little stressful and just I was like, well, I need to make something, so I just made derby pie.
There you go.
And I don't know who's going to eat it. If this was Thanksgiving, I wouldn't have that worry. you know? But yeah, so I love Friendsgiving for that reason. And just being with friends that the older you get, the harder it is to meet up with friends who don't live in the same area. Friendsgiving's an awesome opportunity to do that. Family Thanksgiving is also, and this is what's weird, is part of why I don't have a ton of traditions. We used to go Christmas shopping at midnight, whatever. It's because I will go to Kentucky, usually, where my dad's side family is. We have a huge family over there, which is also part of why I love Thanksgiving and the holidays. Joe and I kind of had different background. For me, the holidays were always a big deal in Kentucky. And, there's not a lot of city there. What they do is cook and eat. So the food is always killer when you're in Kentucky. And, I'll eat the food, and I like to just do whatever anyone suggests because I'm just happy to be with my family. So sometimes we're doing board games, and sometimes back when my brother and one of my cousins were younger, it was playing basketball. I don't even like basketball that much, but you know what? I'm here just to be with the people. So my tradition is just to enjoy being with people and doing whatever they want to do because I'm just happy to be with them,
Phenomenal.
Okay. I told you guys I was going to do it. We're going to build a Thanksgiving playlist. So there's 3 different kind of Thanksgiving songs. And I'm probably going to have to debate a little bit on some of this. People, when I say that I like Thanksgiving music, usually will claim there's no such thing. And part of my debate, I have to point out, they hold the criteria of what counts as Thanksgiving music to a much higher standard than they do Christmas music. If Let It Snow can be a Christmas song, it has nothing to do with Christmas. Baby, It's Cold Outside. It's literally just about it being chilly and someone spiking someone else's drink and some other stuff that we're not going to say. If those things can count, you're going to have to give me a little more leeway than people tend to like to give me for Thanksgiving songs. Because if it being cold counts, then I feel like Give Thanks to the Lord should absolutely count for Thanksgiving. Because at least it's about the thing the holiday's about.
So I just real quick, I want to take this opportunity to say one of the things that I am thankful for of when I record with Josh, and he just comes off with some random stuff on the air and gets a genuine reaction out of me out of nowhere. It is phenomenal. Anyway, continue.
As a quick side note, have you heard Jimmy Buffett's version of Baby, It's Cold Outside?
No.
They flipped the genders.
Oh.
It's so weird. Also,
Yeah,
I think Frank Sinatra, at the end of his version back in the day, he even says afterwards, oh, that was just this. Like he clarifies what it was that was in the drink. Because even back then they knew this song's kind of problematic.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave that there and move right along. 3 types of Thanksgiving songs. First, you have the silly Thanksgiving songs, a lot of which are making fun of the fact that people celebrate Christmas way too early and we're kind of grumpy about it. People who love Thanksgiving are always grumpy about Christmas. And honestly, I'll tell you a secret. That's part of the fun. We like being grumpy about it. Don't let the other Thanksgiving geeks tell you that I told you this, but we enjoy it. All right, here's the other one. Actual songs about the day of Thanksgiving. They do exist. And then there's songs that are about thankfulness or fall or autumn, family, that kind of stuff in general. Just like Let It Snow counts, songs about thankfulness should count. Hear me out. All right, so first, for our silly songs, here's what you're going to start with. Adam Sandler's Thanksgiving song. He just talks about the food and like, I like turkey. Matthew West did a song, Gobble Gobble. And let me tell you, it is dumb. They're like, gobble, gobble, 1, gobble, gobble, 2. And just about eating Thanksgiving food. Brandon Heath, I love this one. Brandon Heath, The Day After Thanksgiving. It's just, the whole song is all this stuff about Christmas. And he's like, I don't care if you do this, but wait till the day after Thanksgiving. Yeah. And at one point he goes, I don't care if you put antlers on your car, as long as it's the day after Thanksgiving. I'm like, yeah, you tell him, Brandon. Then, of course, my favorite of the silly ones, also Jimmy Buffett, Santa Stole Thanksgiving. And it's Santa Stole Thanksgiving for the mall is how it goes. Sold it straight to the mall so the elves could have more money to build the toys, according to Jimmy Buffett. And Jimmy Buffett's regret, also part of why I love Thanksgiving. He says that it was such a laid-back holiday. And that is truly what's beautiful about Thanksgiving. It is. It's just a laid-back holiday. All right, songs actually about the day. Graham Parker, Almost Thanksgiving Day. Just a good song. Ben Rector, The Thanksgiving Song. Beautiful. The thing is, I just don't feel like taking the time to talk about the beautiful ones that are actually meaningful because I want to have fun. I like to talk about the silly ones more. Okay, ones about autumn, thankfulness, family that I think should be included. Zach Brown Band, Family Table. Also, I like Zach Brown Band. I know some people hate it because some people hate country. I like it. I mentioned Give Thanks to the Lord. Josh Groban does a song called Thankful. Ben Crosby does I Got Plenty to Be Thankful For. And it just simply, for me, is not Thanksgiving if I don't hear Ben Crosby, I Got Plenty to Be Thankful For at some point during the day. Honorable mention, you can include these if you want. Passenger has a song about golden leaves. So it's about the fall, and it's about being thankful for a life well spent with a lifelong partner. And, of course, I love the Avett Brothers. They have a song November Blues. It's about November. It should count. All right, Joe. I put you through enough. I'm done. I'm done telling you about Thanksgiving songs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true though. If you look at most of what Christmas music is, there's a lot of it that's just winter songs, not Christmas songs, winter songs. And so
fall songs should count.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, it is about the thing. So I will give you that. It's fascinating to me that you have put that level of thought and detail into what a Thanksgiving special or what a Thanksgiving playlist would sound like. But hey,
that's just the starter kit.
That's just 101. There's deeper.
Yeah. I have like at least 100 on my playlist for Thanksgiving. And I started listening in October, which is the greatest sin, right? I complain about Christmas being celebrated in November, and here I am before Halloween listening to Gobble Gobble 1, Gobble Gobble 2. It's a shame. It's a shame. I am a hypocrite. Feel free to persecute me, listeners. You know where I'm at. I live on the Facebook group. All right, movies and shows. I'm gonna do the movies first. Nightmare Before Christmas. I did this last year. I know it was controversial. It'll stay controversial. Hear me out. The whole movie takes place between Halloween and Christmas, and it's about being thankful for what you have and who you are. I'm counting it. I know it's not really a Thanksgiving movie, but I can't help but throw that out there. I will say, though, Miracle on 34th Street's a great one. Yes, it is a Christmas movie, but the movie takes place during the Thanksgiving parade, so I think it's the perfect transition movie from the Thanksgiving holiday into Christmas. Also, I just love that movie a lot. Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving, just like all of the Charlie Brown movies, it's excellent. And believe it or not, Garfield has a Thanksgiving movie, and it's great. It's great. It's fun. And then, Joe, personally, I think Thanksgiving really actually thrives in TV specials, when a show has a special. And I don't like Seinfeld. You love Seinfeld. Does Seinfeld have Thanksgiving specials? I don't actually know.
Yeah, all of those from that generation have a Christmas, or a Christmas as well, but a Thanksgiving themed episode. The one that really stands out in my mind is Friends. You know, I really love the Friends Christmas. Again, I really love the Friends Thanksgiving specials, especially the ones where they're playing football and all of that. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. You know, I grew up a product of a time where TV was king, sitcoms were king. You know, you watched a lot of that stuff as a kid. And so for me, I'm in that same boat of, I can point to, you know, every year there would be each one of the episodes on TGIF would all have a Thanksgiving special, or your favorite sitcoms would all have a Thanksgiving special and all of that. Yep. And I'm like, any of the rest of the holiday themed ones, I could take or leave, but there was just something special about the Thanksgiving themed ones.
Yeah, I think it's part of that no expectations thing. I feel like on the Thanksgiving special, they could do literally whatever they wanted. No one was going to care whether Santa Claus was there or not, whether, you know, Phoebe put a turkey on her head or not. Also, I got to say, Friends is not my favorite sitcom, but dear God, those Thanksgiving specials were excellent. All of them were excellent. I loved that. Yeah. Glad you mentioned that.
Real quick, I'm getting a quick notification. Our fact checkers are back at it, and it is in fact come to a conclusion that Friends is the best sitcom that there really ever has been. So there's that. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. I know you say that. I think the better Friends, it's the same show but significantly better, was How I Met Your Mother.
And it is not. It is not the same show. There's on so many levels that it's not the same show.
So close. It's so close. I think it's pretty much the same, but that's just me. How I Met Your Mother is just superior. That's the important part. And Joe hates me right now. It's okay. He's still thankful for our friendship, I think.
I am still thankful for our friendship, even when you're wrong. That's true friendship, guys. Yeah. That you can still be thankful for somebody even when they're wrong.
I also like How I Met Your Mother's Thanksgiving specials more. As much as I love Friends Thanksgiving specials, there's this thing called Slapsgiving in How I Met Your Mother, and I watch it all the way through, the whole series of it. And it has to do with they made a slap bet. Loser got to be slapped however many times. There's a whole story behind it. I won't bore you with it here, but a couple of them get used for Thanksgiving, and Marshall calls it Slapsgiving, and it's just fun physical humor. I love that kind of stuff. Full House had a few good ones, and another one that Joe's not going to like me mentioning, but I think is the king of Thanksgiving episodes. It goes to, for me, Bob's Burgers. Their Thanksgiving specials are great. Bob is just me in a cartoon. My wife claims it up and down. I was Bob one year for Halloween, and it's just, he is obsessed with Thanksgiving year round, same as me. So it's always a big episode when they do their Thanksgiving episodes. They don't do they do Christmas specials, but it's not the big special of the year. The big special of the year for Bob's Burgers is Thanksgiving, because he's a chef. So he likes to figure out how he's going to do his turkey each year, all that kind of stuff. And something always goes wrong. The thing about Bob's Burgers is this is just real quick. I'm going to deconstruct comedy for everyone. Comedy tends to use the same thing as logic as far as structure, but then do the opposite. Right. So there's the thing, there's a logical fallacy. There's the slippery slope argument, or the argument from Extreme, right? Bob's Burger does that. You relate to one of the characters like, oh, yeah, that's totally me. And then you just watch them slowly do the stupidest thing that you're like, oh, yeah, I would do that. Oh, yeah, I would do that. And then at the end, you're like, how on earth did we get here? It's just always ends somehow completely absurd.
And that is exactly what makes Seinfeld so funny, is they just do it. They go down that road and they're like, yeah, but like then they just did the thing.
I've never understood Seinfeld. I don't know why. There's not anything like I could not argue with you why I don't get into it. It's the same thing with Star Trek Next Generation. That's what I'm just super wrong about. I want to like it so bad, and I just can't get past the first couple seasons.
It's funny because
I don't know what it is.
Most people think that the beginning stuff is better when Gene Roddenberry was directly involved. That's funny.
I like the original movies and the original series. It's just Next Gen I had trouble with. But I started doing Deep Space Nine. God, that's great. That's what I'm thankful for this year. I started watching Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm thankful for is that one of our new recurring teammates, Sari, she got me into rewatching through Deep Space Nine again, and it is phenomenal.
Wait, are we both watching it right now?
Yeah.
That's great. I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
Because that inevitably means there's going to be a Deep Space Nine episode coming soon to Systematic Ecology.
So
probably in January, maybe. I don't know.
on the air pitch, 2 shows throughout the next however long it takes us to get through it. We'll just periodically do recaps of the different seasons. New Who and Deep Space Nine.
Deal. Super deal.
Yep.
Yeah. So that being said, we've mentioned this holiday has made pretty much stayed pure to the idea of being thankful, being with your family and your friends. And we mentioned, taking that thankfulness, making it a year-round thing. But Joe, why is thankfulness important? Like, why?
So there's 2 answers. They're part of the same answer, but there's 2 aspects. Scientifically speaking, when you engage with gratitude, there is an actual chemical response that takes place in the brain that releases chemicals that overall affect your mood, affect your disposition, they affect your physicality. There's a lot that goes into what happens when you are genuinely thankful and you can get to a point of saying, I am thankful for this thing, for, whatever, that there's a chemical response that it really is beautiful, especially when you put that into the context of your walk with Christ and all of that kind of stuff, that just paints this beautiful picture of humanity and relationship and all of those kinds of things. The other part of it is putting it in the context of your life and your walk with Christ and all of those kinds of things. Because like I said before, especially for those of us that are very well versed in what this world, in the realities of this world and what it looks like, that it's very easy to lose the forest in the trees and get so caught up in life and what it is, then and not understand what you have to be thankful for. And so I'll start there, that those are the 2 most important aspects to me about this whole idea of gratitude. And you know what? Everybody starts someplace. You can go down the road of, no, this shouldn't be the only day and blah 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 blah. Yeah. We can go down all that road, but everybody's got to start someplace. So what if this Thanksgiving is a start to you establishing some kind of regular routine to focus on what you're grateful for? Yes,
I agree. I'm not going to pull a TJ. I'm going to say more than that. There's so many reasons for me. And this is someone who's not trying to toot my own horn, someone who's practiced this a long time. What I'll tell you is, when you let people know that you appreciate them and that you're thankful for them, that you're grateful for them, and you don't just say it as like a empty phrase. We all have those, how are you doing? And we don't mean it kind of phrases. Don't use empty phrases. When you actually say it and mean it, and you tell people, I appreciate you, they actually start to register. This is someone who cares for me in some way. This is someone who is thankful for me. And in return, most people return appreciation for you. This is one of those things where, like, it's a Christian principle that you don't have to be Christian for it to be true.
Right.
If you start expressing gratitude towards people, it comes back around to you. You reap what you sow, kind of thing. That tends to be true. Also, Joe's going to hate part of this answer. I took a yoga class in college once. That's the part he's going to hate. And, but, it's not real yoga. It's college yoga. But they, part of what she had us do was have a thankful journal, and you wrote what you were thankful for, and you had to write 5 things a day or something. I forget what it was. It was some hippie kind of thing. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to stereotype people. Please show me grace. But I did it because it was part of the classwork, and I had to show that I did it. And the first few times, I'm just like trying to write random stuff down, and then I was like, hey, what if I did this as if it was a prayer journal where I'm writing these things and I'm telling God what I'm grateful for. And I spent time doing that. And it became a lot harder to be grumpy throughout the day. It became a lot harder to be mad about my life. And that didn't mean my life was any better. My life was still kind of rough at that time. I was going through some stuff. But I was changing my focus from the things that were wrong, the things that were terrible at that time, to at that point, I still barely could walk. I was still recovering a lot of stuff from my accident. But instead of focusing on those things, I started focusing on the fact that I can walk at all. It's a perspective thing. Focusing on the fact that I'm thankful that I still have my dog. I still have a place to live. I have all these things. And that's part of why I love the Bing Crosby song. I've got something to be thankful for. It can be problematic to some people because he says something like, I have 2 legs, 2 arms. I have the ability to hug and kiss the one I love. And, that's not true for everyone. So I know that could be problematic for some people. But that song means a lot to me because I'm sitting there going, yeah, I still have stuff to be thankful for. Yeah, when it rains, I am in a ton of pain. When it's cold, I don't want to get out of bed at all. It's hard to want to do life. But when I take the time to really think about it, I have something to be thankful for even still.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reality when you understand what it means to say, there's a world where I don't have this ability anymore. I can't do this thing anymore. All of those kinds of things. I know that that's controversial when you consider the wide angle view, but there's a reality to really appreciating what you do have to be thankful for because you've been confronted with the idea of what it means to not have that thing anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's just it, right? I was told that I might never hike again. Do you know, like when I take the time in prayer to mention to God how happy and thankful I am that I can hike a mountain, do you know how out of hand that gets? Like, luckily, I'm just talking to God, so I don't have to worry about someone being like, all right, Josh, calm down. Because I'm like, God, you let me have this again, and you didn't have to. And I just, I know that I ramble, and I'm just glad that we have a graceful God who's like, all right, well, Josh is doing this again. But you know what I mean? I love that I have a God who loves me, who didn't have to show me that favor, who hears me rambling going, okay, well, that's not even the most important thing. And instead of, criticizing me or anything like that, God loves hearing my thanks.
Yeah.
And he loves hearing yours too. I know that's cheesy, but 'tis the season, right?
Right. But that's a reality, right? Like understanding that relationship piece and understanding what that open dialogue looks like goes the distance in establishing just how wonderful and miraculous and special that our relationship with God is. That God is good regardless, and it's the fact that we can count on that is so beautiful.
And I'm going to take the step past, well, maybe a step back, I should say, because there's no past God, but you know what I mean. Your relationships, let me tell you, sometimes marriage isn't easy.
Yep.
Sometimes friendship isn't easy. Yep. Sometimes having brothers and sisters isn't easy. But taking the time this one day and remember, not this one day, but taking the time to just remember to be thankful and to remind yourself I should be thankful that I have them at all. Despite, man, isn't it annoying when they throw off my schedule? Isn't it annoying when they come and bug me when I'm doing this? Isn't it annoying when, I've said 500 times, I want your shoes here, or 500 times that could you close the door when you do this? And just to take the time and be like, but you know what? I have someone who loves me. And to be thankful for that.
Yeah.
It's worth it. It'll make your life easier. It'll make them happier. Make them more grateful for you as well. It'll make your relationships better. Thankfulness is just truly one of the most underrated values in our society today. We value living for yourself and doing what you need to take care of yourself. And I just want to tell you that truly one of the greatest values And one of the things that'll just help you most in life, whether you're a Christian or not, it just truly will help you a lot to take the time to be thankful for one another. If you're a Christian, to tell God how thankful you are. If you're not, maybe do that thankful journal that I made fun of earlier. Just take the time to be thankful.
Agreed.
Yeah. With that being said, sometimes this show is hard, and we're extremely thankful that we still have people who take the time to hear us talk about this stuff, to hear me go off about turkeys and Thanksgiving songs and, Marvel, Star Wars, DC. I did an entire episode about One Piece, and you guys are rewarding me for it. You guys let me do an episode about Disney that was like an hour and a half long, and a ton of people bothered to listen to it and said something to me about it later on. And I'm like, man, I am so thankful for you guys enabling my hobbies.
Right.
I could have worded that better, but you know what I mean. I value you guys and I appreciate you guys. You, how's it go, Joe? You are loved and you are cared for.
Yeah. That you are loved and you are prayed for. When's the catchphrase? That's Buddy Walk. Yeah, I do. I'll jump in. I've said this. I can remember talking about this not long after we started this last year, and there was a handful of us on that episode, and all of those kinds of things, and that. Even at that point in time, the show was so young, and we were able to still already see the fact that you guys were coming and supporting us on this project and really appreciating what it is that we were putting out. And that, to me, I've never seen a community like you guys. I've never seen a community come around a concept in a show like you guys have come around us. And so seriously, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for each one of you that have been a part of the community, that chime in the Facebook group, that listen to the show. Seriously, you guys are the reason why we get to do this.
Yeah. And just do a couple of shout outs. There have definitely been times where Austin has shared something on the Facebook group, Matthew, Stephanie, your wife, Joe, where I was just having a really cruddy day and I opened up Facebook and it said someone posted in Priest of the Geeks. And let me tell you, there's yet to be a negative post in Priest of the Geeks, and, knock on wood, whatever. But every time you guys post something, it makes me a little happier. And there's definitely times that you three have posted something where I had a terrible day and it made me smile on a day where smiling seemed impossible. And I'm so thankful for you guys. I'm thankful for the people who came out to Theology Beer Camp to see Will and I. Hopefully we can do more stuff like that in the future, because I love getting to see you guys. I love getting to interact with you on Facebook and everything else. And you guys truly are awesome. And you're the reason we do the show.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, then, that being said, Joe, are you ready to wrap this one up?
I think so.
All right, guys. First things first. What recommendation would you leave people with? What have you been checking out lately that you're thankful you checked out?
So I alluded to it before, but for those of you that follow along in the Facebook group, you know that in the Day household, November is Sci-Fi Month. And we have been going through New Who. We tried a couple of different shows. We might go back to shows like Farscape and all of that, but that just wasn't the type of flavor that we were looking for this year. Not a bad show or anything, just different. But we decided to go back through New Who with the idea that neither one of us really watched the newest Doctor. And so we want to kind of give it a chance and all of that. And so the idea is that we're going to watch straight through to when the new stuff starts. And yeah.
I'm thankful for David Tennant.
yeah, right. And it's been hitting different. So it's good.
Oh, good. Yeah, I have a lot to say about that, but I'm going to hold it because we already pitched that we're going to be doing a New Who soon. I'm gonna do a slightly more serious recommendation, which is funny because the last episode we just recorded, Joe did the serious one and made me feel goofy for doing the silly one. So now it's my turn, Joe. Going into the Christmas season, I'm going to recommend a book that I disagree with very heavily, but it's been so much fun to disagree with it. For those who don't know, when I went to Theology Beer Camp, I got loaded with like 30 books, and it was publisher was going to give us all like 5, and he asked what I wanted, and I was like, I don't know, man, give me the most challenging. I grew up conservative Pentecostal, and he was like, all of these will be difficult for you, and he was right. This one, Birthing the Holy. If you grew up Protestant, you don't know much about why people value Mary and some of the other religions. It's actually a really good book for us, because it kind of explains why people value Mary, what the Bible actually says about it, what it doesn't say that some of those people do believe about Mary. I'm sure it's challenging from that side too, but I don't know because I never lived that side. But it's just an exploration of Mary birthing Jesus, and just kind of thinking through what exactly that means and what it doesn't mean. And, I disagree with a lot of it, but it's been very thought-provoking and really fun to read that going into Christmas here soon.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. All right. So, that being said, head over to systematicgeekology.org, hit the host tab. You see both me and Joe's name there. You can click on that, see all the other episodes we're a part of. Let us know what you've been geeking out on, what you think we should be geeking out on. And, guys, do us a favor. Extremely important. I need you to remember that this is the greatest day of the year. Happy Thanksgiving. This was an Anazao Ministries podcast. If you enjoyed this show and would like to learn more about our network, be sure to check out the Anazao Ministries podcast network.